And here it is, guys, brand new and redesigned 2025 Subaru Forester. I'm here at Conley Subaru in Bradenton, Florida. So huge shout out to those guys for allowing me to spend some time with this vehicle and bring it on the channel. But before you get to your keyboards and start answering the question in this video, please watch it in its entirety. And let me explain why I chose this title. Well, it's because I first saw the Subaru Forester at Chicago Auto Show. There was a grand reveal of it. I was really impressed as far as the look of it. Well, maybe not as much as some of the features on the interior, but we'll get to it. But it wasn't until I started reading some actual automotive publications that didn't rate the Subaru Forester really high as far as the driving dynamics, as far as how it sits within the competition of it. And I thought to myself, well, let me get my hands on it. Let me do my own review and present you with my unbiased thoughts about this vehicle. And that's what I'm going to do today. So if you like watching videos like this, don't forget to check out the rest of my channel, hit that like and subscribe button. And now let's get back to this. Forester have been part of Subaru family since 1997, so it's been 27 years. It's also in that time sold 2.7 million units. How ironic is that? Now, 158,000 units sold last year. Is that a lot? Yeah, that's quite a bit, but that's not as many as the Honda CR-V or Toyota RAV4. Obviously, they're more volume manufacturers, but it's also a very competitive segment. So for 2025, we have the redesign of this 2025 Subaru. Now, have they done enough to attract new buyers to the brand, to attract buyers from Honda, from Toyota, from Nissan, from Kia, from Hyundai, and get the new Forester? So we're going to talk about it in just a little bit. And I'm saying new buyers because the Subaru has the most loyal customer base out of any manufacturer that I've ever seen. Those people are almost clannish. They love their subbies. And you can't ever say anything bad about the Subaru. And watch it. If I say something bad, watch the comment section underneath this video. There's a lot of people that are going to defend the Subaru no matter what. They can produce the biggest piece of crap, and there's still people going to say that this is the best car ever. But that's basically with most of the manufacturers. However, with Subaru, this is the most noticeable here. So let's take a look and talk about the new design of it. Overall, the shape hasn't changed, but we do have this brand new front end. That includes the front headlights, of course. We have the LED daytime running lamps. We have the LED headlamps, but we also have the incandescent turn signals. Not sure why manufacturers combining those two, but anyways, not a big deal. This is a set of LED fog lamps right here at the bottom. You know, this vehicle can be taken off the beaten path, so this nicely is going to illuminate the trail ahead of you. And we have the brand new front end. Huge Subaru logo right here in the middle, big grille, some of the open spaces allowing you the air to get inside of it and help with cooling off the engine. And then we have this matte black cladding at the bottom of it, prevent the nice paint from scratching. We also have this bronze color trim. This is for decoration unless there's no other purpose but to look pretty. Well, for 2025, Forester has one engine choice, and this is part of the criticism that it received from many publications. Well, let's talk about this. 2.5 liter flat four-cylinder boxer engine, 180 horsepower, 178 foot-pounds of torque, almost the same on paper as last year's model, about 2 horsepower less, 2 pound-feet of torque more. Overall, very similar. Now it's mounted to a Lineartronic CVT transmission, and all Subarus come standard with the symmetrical all-wheel drive system. Well, The gas mileage, you have about 25 in the city, 32 on the expressway, which is not bad, but there's no hybrid options available and there's no performance option available, making this the sole option for you if you want to buy the Forester. 0 to 60 about 8.3 seconds, definitely one of the most sluggish vehicles on the road. Yes, some people say, hey, you know what, I don't care if it's fast as long as it's reliable, and yes, you have the right to do so, but it takes away from the fun of driving vehicle. On the right hand side or on the left hand side, you have this prop stick, you have some sound insulation underneath the hood, and I will take you for a test drive at the end of this video. And here on the side, so typical to Subaru Forester, it looks more like a station wagon than like an SUV. And a lot of Subaru buyers love this shape of it. There's definitely certain advantages. Let's talk about it. It definitely got bigger versus the first generation because right now we have 183.3 inches as far as the length of it, 68 inches as far as the height, and 72 inches as far as the width. So definitely much bigger than it was when it first came out. Also, if you look at the shape of this vehicle, look how big the windows are. There are definitely a lot of windows in this vehicle, giving you that better visibility from the inside so you can admire those trails if you are off the beaten path. Everything around the windows is surrounded with this matte black. I know some reviewers ding it for it. To me, it makes no difference, doesn't really bother me that much. We have the mirror in the same colors. The rest of the vehicle turn signal, blind spot assist. It is a heated mirror as well. As far as the wheel and tire setup, I love these. These are bronze wheels, 19-inch rims, 235 by 50 is the size of the tire. Subaru went with Bridgestone Turanza tires, which are actually a road tires, maybe a little bit, more aggressive than just the regular road tires. That hexagon shape looks really good. It's got some venting on the side, and that continues at the bottom of this vehicle to prevent it from scratching. Now, all Subarus have 8.7 inches of ground clearance, and of course, as I mentioned before, it has the symmetrical all-wheel drive, which is displayed right on the side here. If the cargo inside wasn't enough for you, or if you wanted to take a tent and go off the beaten path, you have a set of roof rails, equip it with the crossbars, and then you can take it and go about your business. Guys, this is the side of this vehicle. Let's take a look in the back. And here's this brand new back end. Let's start right on top of here. We have the big gate spoiler, third brake light exposed wiper. Kind of wish that it was hidden underneath here. It would make more sense. And we have this brand new taillights. Now the taillights are LED and incandescent turn signal. Again, the combination that I have no idea why companies are doing this. Subaru logo in the middle. Now Forester is stamped into this back gate. Sport on one side, Subaru on the other side. And look how much space you have for all your stickers. Yes, Subaru lovers, you know what I'm talking about. Every time that you climb a mountain, it's going to go on the back of this vehicle. Every time you save a tree, it's going to go on the back of this vehicle. So yes, plenty of room to display those. Down here at the bottom, we have this flat black as far as the bottom finish of the bumper. One side has the real exhaust. The other side's just got the trim of it. You have the rear view camera. The gate is not powered, but it's not very heavy. Look at this. I just let it go and it opens up. Let's see what's going on the inside. And here it is in the back. If you look for space, you definitely can find it here, about 28 cubic feet of it behind the rear seats. And if you fold them down, it's going to extend to about 69 cubic feet of space. It's pretty easy to do. You pull on that little button on top. And yes, my backpack is there, but you get the point. You fold it down and it's going to expand about 69 cubic feet of space. Now, in between these two wheel wells, about 43 inches of space, so that's pretty wide. We have the regular charger. We have the cargo cover here. This particular one has been added with the all-season cargo mat, and underneath here you have a little bit of storage. And if you lift it up, yes, you have a temporary use spare tire. So for those of you who are concerned about this, yes, there's a spare tire in here. Another important feature, it's an advantage of this being the more of a wagon style, is how low to the ground this loading dock is. Basically, look at this. There's no issues of loading anything or even your pets onto this vehicle. They can freely jump in and out. And if not, I'm pretty sure that they sell this little ramp for the Subaru as an accessory. This is what we have for cargo. Let's see what we have for passengers. I'm going to start with this rear door panel here. So let's check this out. Is this hard plastic? Yeah, it's hard plastic, but it's got some nice and soft materials, including this fabric and this vinyl looking texture materials on the side. We also have a fairly soft armrest and of course the window controls and the door handle. Bit of more storage and the speaker. That's what else we have at the bottom of the door. Let's get inside of it. Let's see how those seats look like. Now, this is a man-made leather. They call it the StarTex material. Every manufacturers have their own name for their own man-made leather. Right here in the middle, you have the armrest with the cup holders that you can fold up and have room for the third passenger in here. And you have the dual pockets in the back of driver and passenger seat. In the middle, you have the vents for the rear and the USB Type-C, USB Type-A port. A very slight bump right here in the middle shouldn't affect the comfort for the middle passenger too much. And look how big this sunroof is. I'm going to open it up later on so you can see how much air or how much light it puts in. We also have the illumination for the rear passengers. Let me jump inside, see how much room there is. So let's check this out, guys. Getting in, no issue. 8.7 inches of ground clearance, but it still feels like it sits lower than that. Once I get inside, I have probably about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches in front of my knees. A little bit more than that above my head. By the way, I am almost 6 feet tall. I shrunk a little bit, 5'11", 5'11 and a half, somewhere in that range. Plenty of shoulder room. Yeah, definitely. I can see myself taking even a longer drive in this vehicle, and it feels very spacious inside of this back seat. Well, what about the front? And before we get inside, let's listen to the sound of the closing door. Okay, nice and solid. No issues here. Front door panel, very similar to the rear with the addition of window mirror lock controls. More storage at the bottom of the door, another speaker, and yes, we have a power adjustment on the driver's seat. I'm going to check out to make sure that it has it on the passenger seat as well. Let's see. Nope, it's a manual adjustment on the passenger side, so driver's seat only. Again, the StarTex material is what's used to trim the seats, and let's take a look at the rest of this interior. Here it is, guys. This is the interior of this 2025 Subaru Forester. Let's take a look. Starting on the side here, I like the big vents. I also like this material, whatever this is. It looks kind of cool. It also has this bronze trim at the bottom. Let's see. This is softer material, which is a big plus in my book. Also makes the vehicle a little bit quieter too. And let's take a look, see what's going on in front of us. So the steering wheel. All right, I like the steering wheel. The size of it, it's a little thinner than some of the competitors. It is leather wrapped. It's got, again, contrast stitching on the inside that is thicker in the right places. And let's see, it is tilt and telescoping. Let's make sure I get the right adjustment of it, see what's going on. Okay, so it is a Lineartronic CVT transmission. However, it has 8 simulated gears in here. And let's see, as far as the buttons, we have the source button, seek track button, volume button, and we have an up and down to control what's going on in the instrument cluster. Subaru logo in the middle. We have the sport mode, and which is the SI, Subaru Intelligent Drive mode, right? And then we have the individual mode. But we'll get to it in just a little bit. Cruise control, adaptive cruise control, and let's take a look at the display here. So very traditional display. It's got the analog gauges on the right-hand side. We have the speedometer and gas gauge. On the left-hand side, we have the tachometer and the temperature gauge. In the middle is the only thing that you can actually control and see what's changing. So you have your trip, you have your time that the vehicle has been running, how many gallons it burned, you have the PSI tire pressure, you see what's playing on the radio, temperature outside, the time, and back to the regular thing. Okay, you have the gear indicator, the drive mode indicator at the bottom. It seems like the auto start stop button has been disabled, and this is what it is. So as far as the instrument cluster, a lot of manufacturers are going with the fully digital ones. I think they're a little bit more accurate. They also give you a bunch more information. But we're going to talk about the Subaru buyer in just a little bit because that might not be a super important feature for those who already own the Subaru. However, to attract more buyers, I think the brand needs to be competitive with the market. Now, in the middle here, we have the same screen as we've seen on the new Outback and some of the other new Subaru models. This is 11.6-inch screen. And it is actually, I think it's better than what it was, where you had the two separate screens, which, by the way, I think you have the 7-inch, two 7-inch screens on the base trim. This one contains most of the features that you want. Let's take a look. On the left-hand side, first of all, you have the hazard lights here, and then you also have the volume. You have the power button, and then you have the mute button here. Front window defogger, temperature controls, and then you have the tune button on the left-hand side and right-hand side, rear defroster, and again, the temperature controls for the passenger, so dual zone climate control. Right on top, we have what's playing right now, or you can have different options. You can have the temperature, water temperature, oil temperature. We can also see the weather as well as the X mode. So we have different drive modes. We have the snow, dirt, normal, deep snow and mud, in addition to that sport mode that we've seen on the steering wheel. As far as the icons here, we have a radio, media, phone, apps, settings. It is wireless Android Auto. I actually connected my other phone, not the one that I'm recording with, but the other phone with. Here we're at Conley Subaru. Uh, I mean, I kind of wish that display was a little bit more vivid, a little bit more colorful. It seems a little dull, to be honest with you. And let's go back to this main Subaru screen. The way you do is press the Subaru Forester. See what else we have? Car info. Okay, so we have the pitch and roll, and we also see where the power is going. As far as the maintenance shouldn't require anything, right? Everything is pretty much done. We don't even have it displayed. Go back to the driving statistics. So we have the hill descent control, and not sure what this is. It's not working, whatever that is. At the bottom of the screen, you have some shortcuts. So first of all, there's two little strips. This one right here controls the top portion here, basically. It's going to give you that main screen. It's going to take you to, your manage devices, user profiles, start stop feature. You can turn it off, turn it on. You have the safety feature. So cruise control, acceleration, standard, auto vehicle hold. We have it enabled right now. Can turn it off. Auto start stop feature. It is off. Steering responsive. Headlights. That's a nice feature as well. And then basically, if you get lost, hit that home button. It's going to take you home. How about this? No built-in navigation, so you have to use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay if you wanted to. Okay, my Subaru. You have to actually be connected to use it. We have heated seats. As far as the temperature, let's hit this little icon and see you can slide the temperature control. Again, this is all here, but it's kind of has even this bit outdated font, if you will. It's there, it's big, it's visible, so it's just something that I would like maybe improved on the vehicle. The fan speed control, and you have the AC button, again, heated seat for the passenger side. Down here at the bottom, we have auxiliary USB Type-C, USB Type-A, and the wireless charging pad. Quite a bit of piano black around this gear shifter, which, by the way, can go into the simulated manual mode if you'd like to. Electronic parking brake, cup holders. And let's move it in reverse and let's see the rear view camera. That's another feature that can be slightly improved. The quality is not all that great as far as the camera. We have the active trajectory line, which is a plus, but then again, why not utilize the entire screen if you have the space? In the middle console, there's just a tiny bit of space. Let's see if I can show it to you. You can put some stuff in it, but not a whole lot. What I like about this is this huge sunroof. It's almost like a panoramic sunroof. Look how big it opens. Check this out. The panel is huge, and see how much room it opens up. Wow, it opens up all the way. This has to be the biggest sunroof out of all the vehicles that I've seen without being like a dual pane or panoramic sunroof. Okay, we have the light control. Again, that switch came from the early 2000s, probably. That's your sunroof control. Of course, we have the SOS button, info button, sunglasses holder, and then visors with illuminated mirrors. Visors are extendable, so you can cover this spot if the sun is really shining at you. Look at this. I just noticed that there's a little birdie right here on the window or or the panel here. Well, this is the interior of this 2025 Forester. Talk about pricing and see how it drives. So I'm behind the wheel, as you can see, ready to go. Let's talk about pricing and different trim levels available for 2025. Subaru Forester starts with a base model, $29,695, just under $30,000. If you go with the premium, $31,995. Sport will set you back $34,495, and then limited $35,995, and the touring $39,995. So I mean, it's still within the range of the segment where, you know, the Toyota RAV4, Honda CRV, even the Nissan Rogue or Mazda CX-5 or CX-50 will be. Now, does it deliver the same amount of features, comfort, fun to drive? Well, we're going to find out about the fun to drive part right now. And at the end, we're going to sum it all up, and I'll let you know what I think about this. So, starting off with the turning radius, I'm going to turn the steering wheel all the way to the left right here in this empty parking lot, and definitely gonna check out the turning. Not bad, actually, very impressive. Yes, and it feels solid too. Now, as far as the body roll, you know, this is one of the advantages of this lower center of gravity and the slightly lower vehicle. You're not going to feel that body roll as much as you feel it in the top heavier vehicles. And because this boxer engine, because of the design of it and where it's situated, it definitely helps out with that better driving dynamics. Overall, it feels fairly quiet, but it also feels very well put together as far as the quality of this vehicle. I have this empty parking lot right here. I can't help but check out the acceleration here. Yeah, they weren't kidding that this vehicle is slow as it is. You know, I barely get it up to 30 miles per hour in this fairly long stretch of road. Here, I understand that some people are going to argue that you're not going to buy the Forester to race. I agree with you 100%. However, it is also a safety concern where you don't have enough power. People drive like idiots these days. You have to admit to it. When you're trying to get from the side street to the main road, a lot of times you need that power to get you moving. Okay, so nobody rear ends you in the back. It's different if you're in the rural area and there's a, you know, a car coming by every so often, and it's different in a highly congested, highly saturated area, and you know there's cars all over the place. You need that kick, you need that power, and that's why I wish that Subaru put in, maybe even as an option, the engine that they have in their Outback, that turbo engine. I think it's 270 horsepower or some kind of variation of it. That doesn't have to be a rocket ship. It just has to be something that's a little bit faster than this. Now we'll put it in this manual mode. All right, let me reduce it. It's got those simulated gears. Okay, I think the Subaru does actually a decent job because even it has the engine brake as I reduce gears while driving. So not bad at all in terms of the gear simulation here. And overall, that transmission is very quiet. Very quiet. It doesn't make any of those whiny noises as some of the older CVTs were making. And again, CVT might not be a bad option for a vehicle such as this, where you need a good fuel economy. You're not looking for a performance vehicle. However, if it's paired up with a more powerful engine, it would definitely be a safer choice for many. Speaking about safety, safety is one of the top priorities for Subaru, so that's why all of the Subarus come standard with a safety suite of features. You know that it's also the build quality, and you know you've seen the commercials of Subarus where you see somebody getting into an accident, they're walking away, and they're really proud of that, and that's maybe why they don't like some drastic changes to their product. If it's not broken, don't fix it. I think that's the Subaru's motto here as well. I kind of wish that they tweaked it up a little bit more than they did. So summing it all up, let's talk about the things that I like about this vehicle. I definitely like the quality of build. It feels very well put together. Subaru claims that they made the chassis on this vehicle about 10% more rigid than it was. They also changed the engine mounts to have less vibrations coming in to the cabin, and they changed the way that the seats are designed. The seats are actually bolted right onto the chassis, and they're not they don't have any unnecessary rails or complicated systems that's why you don't feel any rattles. Now the seats are very nice and comfortable. There's tons of room in the vehicle, both in the front back seats as well as in the cargo area. So those are definitely huge advantages that Subaru has over some of the competitors. A high ground clearance, 8.7 inches, standard all-wheel drive, proven engine. This is a big plus. Now, as far as something that I definitely would want to improve, as I just said, I would like this engine to either be more powerful, mild hybrid, regular hybrid, or the turbocharged engine, giving it a little bit more fun in driving the vehicle like this. As far as the interior quality is there, I have nothing against the quality of this vehicle. However, if I'm looking at this instrument cluster, I mean, I don't mind the analog gauges. However, I would like them to be a little bit more modernized, maybe do half and half, or go fully digital like a lot of competitors do. The infotainment system, I mean, it's there, it's functional, it's got a lot of features that people use, probably not many that people don't. So I think I'm very neutral as far as that. What I would like to see improved is the rear view camera, the quality of it, and the amount of space that it takes. To sum it all up, I can definitely see that they're going to probably have a fairly hard time, attracting new buyers to the brand, especially after somebody test drives a brand new CRV or the brand new RAV4, maybe even Mazda, CX-50 or CX-5, or the Korean competitors. That's why a lot of the magazines put it in, the bottom part of the top 10 vehicles. And I hate to say it, I like Subaru. I think it's a great vehicle. It's a quality build. It's reliable, but it doesn't have that wow factor. It's not going to scream something, hey, come and buy me, to people who are not familiar with it. Now, for people who are familiar with the brand, I bet you that there's probably a good amount of people who own the first, second, third, fourth, fifth generation, and now they're going to go with the sixth generation of this new Forester. That's because they will not drive anything else. And, like I mentioned in the beginning, Subaru buyers are very clannish. and you know, they love their subbies. To each their own. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I would love to hear your comments in the comment section below. See what you like, what you don't like, what you think could be improved. I love to hear them all. I try to respond to all of them. Hope you like this video. If you did, don't forget to check out the rest of my channel. Hit that like and subscribe button. I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.